Hey everyone, I'm Ellen Linnihan, author of Capturing the Classroom, and today I'm going to teach you the only math that you need to know for the ACT on the English section. If you're looking for math advice on the math section, you really are going to have to go somewhere else. But I can tell you for the English section, the only math that you need to know comes down to one very simple equation, which I know already. It is not actually a truly mathematical equation because you're not supposed to have two equal signs in one equation, but bear with me. I think we can all figure this out together. A period is equal to a semicolon is equal to a comma plus a fanboy. It's that simple. They're completely interchangeable. It's up to you in your own writing, which you prefer. If you want to up your game a little bit and make it a little bit more sophisticated, play around with the semicolon, or maybe add in a comma plus a fanboy instead of just a simple period with two simple sentences. But on the ACT, what you need to know is that they are completely interchangeable. Okay, so moving on, fanboys. We have to actually memorize this list if you want to apply this rule consistently in knowing your grammar rules. A fanboy is for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Those are your options, okay? If you look at this list, it's really not that hard to memorize because all of them are either 2 or 3 letter words, right? So you don't have to wonder if because is on that list. It's definitely not, it's too long. So only words that are 2 or 3 letters. They're also the most common connecting words that we use in our English language. So they'll be pretty easy for you to memorize and to apply this rule moving forward. So words that are not fanboys often take the place in the sentence of where a fanboy would go, but they don't have the same magical powers as the fanboy. You don't use a comma with these words in the middle of a sentence to take the place of a period or a semicolon, because they don't have the magical powers that a fanboy does. And I can't explain why. It's just the way the English language is. However, if you start to look at some of these words, you'll see we use these all the time, right? After, because, whether, where, even though, we use them all the time. The thing is, when you use one of these words on an actual sentence, like, so let's say the sentence, we ate dinner. When we say the sentence, we ate dinner, that's totally fine all by itself. It's a complete thought. But when you put one of these words on there, like whenever we ate dinner, even if we ate dinner, even though we ate dinner, it leaves you hanging with an incomplete thought of, well, what happens even though we ate dinner, right? You're left with an incomplete thought. So that's why I put this little zebra mussel on there. If you don't live in an aquatic area, maybe this doesn't quite resonate, but hang with me. A zebra mussel is an invasive species that attaches itself to the underside of boats, and they're really quite the pestilence in the aquatic community. So the reason I put it there is because a zebra mussel clings onto something on the underneath side of the boat, right? It needs it for survival, and it really kind of weighs it down. It makes it it's problematic for the boat. So when you put one of these words onto a sentence, it no longer can float by itself. It needs something else then to hang on to. So even though we ate dinner, we didn't get dessert, right? So there's a something that comes after it. When you put the even though on there, you're left with the thought of what happens even though. So be on the lookout for these words because you need to know the words that are not the fanboys because they don't have the same kind of grammar rules or magical powers as the fanboys. So just because, if a sentence begins with a subordinating conjunction, that list we just saw, there will be a comma in the middle. If the subordinating conjunction comes in the middle of the sentence, there's no comma. Why? Just because, right? It's just the way the English language is. No comma in the middle of a sentence with because. So if you see because in the middle of the sentence, you know automatically do not put a comma with it. So here's an example. Because we ate dessert, or sorry, because we ate dinner, we get dessert. We get dessert because we ate dinner. So in the first one, we have the comma. We started with because, so we know there's going to be a comma in the middle. In the second one, the subordinating conjunction comes in the middle of the sentence because, just because, no comma, just because. And that is really the only math you need to know for the English section, but it's pretty important math. I would say probably about 90% of grammar revolves around this central principle, and they'll test you on this concept upside down and backwards in the ACT because this is so essential to our English language. And if you know it, you've got a huge leg up on anybody else who has not learned this very simple rule. So that is what I know, and good luck on the ACT.